Click on Zombie Apocalypse.
Hello everyone, welcome to Eco Talks. In today's session, we'll discuss microeconomics. The points to be covered in today's session are economic model and classification of market. So let us start with economic model. A model is a simplified representation of real situation. It includes the main feature of real situation which it aims to represent. In economic theory, models are constructed so as they can describe the economic behavior of individual units such as consumers, firms, or government agencies and interactions between them, which create the economic system of a region, country, or world as a whole. Here, model implies abstraction from reality, which is achieved by a set of meaningful and consistent assumptions. Here, abstraction means simplifying the complexity of real world by ignoring the unimportant details while doing the economic analysis. The degree of this abstraction from reality depends on the purpose for which model is constructed. Then series of assumptions in a particular cases should be chosen very carefully so as to it should be consistent, then it should retain the realism and attain the reasonable degree of generality. Then abstraction is necessary because the real economic world is extremely complex, and if we do attempt to study the true world, then it will lead to analysis of unmanageable dimensions. This model does not describe the true economic world, but they are constructed based on the abstractions from the truth. Here, abstraction does not imply complete unrealism, but it is the simplification of the reality. Then model can be constructed at different level of aggregation considering different details and sophistication depending upon its purpose. Then there are two main purposes for which model is built. First one is analysis and second is prediction. Analysis implies explanation of behavior of economic units such as consumer or producers. Yes, there are certain assumptions. Then based on these assumptions, certain laws are framed to describe the behavior of the consumer or producer or any economic unit. Example here is law of demand. Right? Based on certain assumption, the law of demand is derived, which explains the behavior of the consumers or producers. Then second purpose is prediction, which implies forecasting the effect of change in some magnitude in the economy. For example, model of supply, which might be used to predict the effects on imposition of tax on the sales of firms. Then validity of model is judged on several criteria. Those criteria are, first one is predictive power, how best it can predict the purpose for which it is built. Then consistency and realism of its assumptions. The extent of information it provides, its generality and simplicity. Model should be simple, not complicated. So these are the different criteria based on which model is judged or its validity is checked. Then we'll see the classification of markets. There are various criteria suggested by different economists for the classification of market. The first important criteria is substitutability of products criterion. Here, the existence of substitutes for those products of the market is checked, and based on that, the markets are classified. Second criteria is interdependence criterion. Here, in this criteria, the extent to which the firms in an industry considers the reaction of their competitors. Based on that, the markets are classified. Here, it's also related with the number of firms in the industry and also the degree of differentiation of the product, whether the products are homogeneous or heterogeneous. Then third criteria is condition of entry. Here, ease of entry in various market, depending on that, classification of market is done. Then traditionally, market structure, we are distinguishing as perfect competition, monopoly, monopolistic competition, and oligopoly. So let us see the characteristics of these four markets. First one is the perfect competition. Here there are large number of firms in the industry and they deal with the homogeneous products. One important feature of this market is every firm considers that it can sell any amount of output it wishes. That is, when it can sell any amount of output at ongoing market price, and individual firm cannot affect the market because his share in total market will be very small. Even though word here is perfect competition, it does not mean that there is no rivalry among the individual. In the perfect competition, there is no rivalry among the individual firms. Then each firm acts atomistically. That is, it will decide the level of output he has to sell, ignoring the other firms in the industry. Then products of the firm are perfectly substituted. That is, they are homogeneous, so they are perfect substitute for one another. So here the price elasticity of demand curve is infinite, and there is entry is free and easy in this market. So these are the different criteria for perfect competition. Next one is monopoly market. Here there is only one firm in the industry. There are no close substitutes for the product because only one firm is dealing with those products. Then demand for this is demand for monopolistic will coincide with the industry demand, and it has finite price elasticity. And here entry is blocked, that is restricted. Third is monopolistic competition. There are large number of firms, but there is some level of product differentiation. Then demand for individual firm has negative slope, but price elasticity is high because there are close substitutes for the produce, which are produced by the other firms in the industry. Then in case of monopolistic competition also, their firms act atomistically. That is, they ignore the reaction of the competitors because there are too many firms, and each one have very little impact on the market share. So there will each will not be affected so much by the actions of the competitor. In this market also, entry is free and easy in the industry. Next is the oligopoly market. Here there are small number of firms. So each firm, that is each seller, will be conscious for their interdependence. Each firm will take into account the actions and reactions of their rivalries. Here competition is not perfect, but there is rivalry in the firms, and this is very high unless they make some agreement between the firms. Then here the products in oligopolistic are homogeneous or differentiated. If there are products are homogeneous, it is called as pure oligopoly. If they are differentiated, then it is called as differentiated oligopoly. In case of differentiated oligopoly, elasticity of individual market demand is smaller than in the case of homogeneous. Then seller, before taking any actions, they should guess the reaction of the rivalry so that they can plan for the action, whatever reactions the rivalry give for their action. Then decision depend on the ease of entry and the time lag which they forecast to intervene between their own action and rivalry's reaction. Next is we have seen the different criteria for the classification of markets. So let us see them in detail. First one is substitutability of products. This is measured by a price cross elasticity for the commodities produced by two firms. It is given by the formula EP, that is price cross elasticity, which is equal to change in quantity of J firm divided by change in price of I firm into price of I firm divided by quantity of J firm. Here it measures the degree at which sale of J firm is affected by the change in price charged by the I firm. If the elasticity is high, it means that product of two firms are close substitutes. Then if substitutability of these products in the market is perfect, then the price cross elasticity between the pair of producers approach infinity. That is, if the products are homogeneous and they are perfect substitutes, the cross elasticity will reach infinity. And if products are differentiated, but they can be substituted for one another, then the price cross elasticity will range finite, that is it will be from 0 to infinity. Then if products are not substitutes, they are not substitutable for each other, then the elasticity will tend to 0. Next criteria is interdependence criterion. Here the degree of interdependence between the firms is measured by quantity cross elasticity. In case of substitutability, it is price cross elasticity, and in case of interdependence, it is quantity cross elasticity. Formula for which is EQ, that is quantity cross elasticity given by change in price of J firm divided by change in quantity of I firm into quantity of I divided by price of J. It measures the proportionate change in price of J firm resulting from small change in quantity produced by the I firm. Higher the value of this elasticity, stronger will be the interdependence between the firms. If the number of sellers in market are very large, then each one will tend to ignore the reaction of competitors, irrespective whether the products are close substitutes. In this case, the elasticity will tend to 0. That is, if the number of firms in markets are very large, then the quantity cross elasticity will be 0. And if the number of firms is small in the market, the interdependence will be noticeable even if products are strongly differentiated. In this case, quantity cross elasticity will be finite. Next is condition of entry. This formula was given by Bain. His concept was condition of entry, which he defined by expression E is equal to PA minus PC divided by PC. Here E is condition of entry, PC is price under pure competition, and PA, that is price actually charged by the firm. The condition of entry is measured by amount which the established firm in an industry can raise their price above PC without attracting the new entries in the industry. Next, here I have given in tabular form the 3 criteria and type of markets. In pure competition, substitutability, that is price cross elasticity, will tend to infinity, whereas interdependence will tend to 0 because there are large number of firms in pure competition or perfect competition. Then ease of entry is 0, that is there is complete easiness to for new firms to enter in the industry. Then in monopolistic competition, the substitutability, this price cross elasticity will range from 0 to infinity, whereas quantity price elasticity will tend to 0, and also ease of entry will also tends to 0. Then in case of pure oligopoly, substitutability will tend to infinity and interdependence will range from 0 to infinity, and ease will be greater than 0. There are some restrictions in case of oligopoly market. Say in case of heterogeneous, again substitutability ranges from 0 to infinity, that is there is some degree of substitution, products can be substituted, and interdependence also will range from 0 to infinity, whereas E, that is ease of entry, will be greater than 0. There is some level of restrictions for the entry. In case of monopoly, substitutability tends to 0 because there are no close substitutes. There is no, as there is single firm, there is no question of interdependence, and there is blocked entry in case of monopoly. In case of monopolist, both cross elasticity will approach to 0 since there is no other firm in the industry and there is no close substitute for the product in the monopolist. That's all for today's session. If you have any doubts, you can ask me in the comment section or message me in the Telegram group EcoTalks. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Share the link with all the ICAR NET aspirants, also with the JRF aspirants, because this part is somewhat useful for even JRF aspirants. Thank you.